Number 7. Right, something a bit different for this video. So, those of you who know me or have seen me online or are generally stalking me will know my games generally take place in very nicely done 3D dungeons. And those of you who read some of the crap I write will realise that my dungeons are based around a set that came out quite a while back now, I think something like 15 years, called the Mage Knight 3D Dungeon sets, which have been out of production for, I think, 10 years now, approximately, and are very sought after and very expensive. Now, just before Christmas, I managed to find some more of them, and I bought them, and amongst what I bought was one untouched box. So what I'm going to do, in the tradition of people who do such things, is I'm going to do an unboxing of this one I've not yet opened and not yet used. People are probably aware of the content in these boxes anyway, but I just wanted to show what a brand new, relatively untouched box looks like. Yeah, they cost a lot. That is a label there for £49 and 99 pence for one box. They fetch way higher on eBay now. I've seen higher prices. In fact, that is not the price I paid for it, because I bought this in a bulk lot and I paid something like £180 for this, a few other boxes and some bits. I got reasonable value considering eBay, but it's still a lot considering when I bought these when they were still available, brand new. They cost between £10 and £12 per box. Right, that's the side of the box. It has Italiano and Franchise on there, and the other side has Deutsch, that's German, I believe, and Espanol instructions. Or right, how well can you see the text? Well-ish, because I think I've figured out how focus works now. Shall I read the text? Yeah, why not? And I'll do it in a silly voice. Mage Knight 3D Dungeons brings your Mage Knight Dungeons adventures to stunning three-dimensional life with floor squares, walls, doors, and trap squares. Every piece is designed to interlock, presenting thousands of possible dungeon combinations. Build your dungeon, assemble your heroic team and start playing. These 3D accessories are perfect addition to any Mage Knight Dungeons or other fantasy gaming experience. Mage Knight 3D Dungeons can be expanded infinitely by adding additional squares and walls. Get more floor squares from the Mage Knight 3D Dungeons floor plaque. There. I am talking extraordinarily well at the moment. Please do not hire me as a voice actor. Get more floor squares from the Mage Knight 3D Dungeons floor pack, and devious traps from the Mage Knight 3D Dungeons trap pack. A Mage Knight Dungeons starter set or Mage Knight Dungeons Pyramid starter set is required to play. Incidentally, I also have to hand here, because I bought at the same time, one of their floor packs, which go for nearly as equally ridiculous prices. It's got pretty much the same thing written on the back there. Right, the one we're going to concentrate on, though, at the moment, God, I'm nearly 5 minutes in and I haven't even got the box open, is this one. I may have lost focus here with the camera as well as with what I'm saying. Right. So, down here it explains what is in this pack. Mage Knight 3D Dungeon is packed with everything you need to start building your own 3D dungeons, including 36 interlocking 3D dungeon floor squares, 24 interlocking 3D dungeon walls, 4 wooden doors, 4 iron doors. Mage Knight 3D dungeon rules. Right, so, and that's about it for the box, really. That's the other stuff available, some of which I own, some of which I don't. That's a website address that I don't know whether it exists anymore. That may be something to investigate and post on the Facebook group. Let's get on with this. This box is a little bit battered because it's been sitting around for a few years in a shop or being passed around people, but yeah, this is unused. So let's get it open. I have opened it before to sort of look what was in there when I bought it. And yes, it was at that point I discovered that it is untouched. So it still has the little bits of tissue paper around things. Oh, something I was going to... Yes, something I should mention is that I was browsing just to see what sort of prices these were fetching the other day, and I came across I think it's an auction site, some kind of rival to eBay, that claimed to have some of this stuff for sale. Only I think it might have been a scam because they actually used a photo I took of my dungeon set up during a game. They cropped it a bit and then included that as one of the photos of their stuff. So yeah, that's a lie. So chances are they don't have the product and they may be scamming you. Watch out for that. I reported it to the site. I don't know if I'll get a reply. I may update you that in future videos. I may not. Let's get into this box. This is not going to be a 10-minute video at this rate. Right. So this is how they come. This is surrounded by this tissue paper stuff to keep the walls nice and safe. Over time, you will lose this paper. I lost this paper. And these are pretty durable, actually. Right, this is one of the metal doors. And yeah, this is how they come. They are pre-painted to an okay-ish degree. They're black, dry brushed with grey where the stone is, dry brush with silver where the metal of the door is, and the sort of skull with hair plaque thing there, sort of tongue sticking out thing, that's been dry brushed in bronze. Focal range of the camera is about here. I'll try and stay here. Yeah. It's a bit of a weird decoration now I come to think of it. It's, yeah, skull with a tongue and big frizzy hair, so it's the skull of that famous picture of Einstein. Yeah, right, so, yeah, these have a little kind of nodule thing that clicks them in place on the edge of the door there. It goes click. I don't need to say click, it goes click. I don't know if the microphone will pick up the click. What I tend to do is I will take a knife and shave that off to make the doors open and close more easily, because once this is stuck in once the little pegs there are stuck in the holes in the board, they hold this in place, makes them very difficult to open and close. So I tend to remove that. Shininess is not helping the camera. Yep. So that's one of those. Right. I believe this one, so I can see through the tissue, is going to be a wooden door. Now these are not quite so nicely painted, so I tend to repaint these, and also the skull on this is freaking awful. So these tend to get conversion work from me. I'll shave that off with a knife and replace it with tends to be shield bosses from various miniatures from sort of early 2000s. Citadel ranges would include plastic shields, little removable shield bosses that are like skulls and various other sort of Warhammer insignia, Skaven sign like that thing, and I don't have examples to hand. Maybe I should have had examples of my finished ones. And the door is just painted brown. Not great. but still nice. Again, clicky door nodule. This one's incredibly stiff, actually. Yeah, and the metal bits, there's like a metal lock there. That's not painted up, but the skull is. In conclusion, the metal doors as they come out of the box look nicer. Right, let's dig in. So we've got what'll be more doors here. One simply does not walk into that. Let's get past these. So you get, I think it's 4 of each door, or 3 of each, 4 of each door. It's in the box and I can't remember. Let's see, shall we count them like we're on Sesame Street or something? Wooden door, wooden door. Metal door. Oh, this is something I did not remember. There we go. So what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 1, 2. Yes, there's another one still wrapped in the tissue paper over there that I removed from the box. 1, 2, 3, 4 wooden, 4 metal. That's those. That's what comes in the box. Right. Yeah, apparently it was only the doors that came in the tissue paper. I did not remember that. Right, and here we have the walls, which again come reasonably painted. They're just black dry brush grey. It comes out alright. On some of mine I have done conversion work and repainted them. The grey on this is about the same as Citadel's Paint Range's Codex Grey, which I understand isn't available anymore. But that's how I colour matched it. So mine are roughly like that. Some are a bit more touched up to make the stonework look a bit more interesting and varied. I might show off in the future videos some of the conversions I've done based on these. But these are how they come in the box. Yeah, they're right. These are nice, solid, rigid plastic. These take plastic really quite well if you're doing conversions. You can drill them, cut them, spread them on toast, and so on. You get however many it said on the box of these. I'm not going to count them. There's crap loads. Let's pull those out. Let's get into the box. Yeah, they're not. These are nice pieces, and initially I based my dungeon on this because of them being cheap and available. Then they became not available and consequently not cheap, and that is partly my fault for posting lots of pictures of this stuff online, and people going, "Oh, what's that?" And I go, "Oh, it's this stuff," and I wasn't aware for a period of a couple of years that they stopped making it. Right, I'm sort of doing this this Ashens type thing where I reach from behind the camera, so I haven't got good use of my hands for fear of knocking the camera over. So I'm just going to try and click a few of these bits together to show you how they work. Now, when they initially come, these are really freaking stiff, but once you get using them a bit more, they... that's a thing that happens. These bits, this here is not fitted together properly because there's a little nodule of plastic that needs trimming with a knife. So it's left a gap there. That's something to watch out for. Generally with these. Anyway, I've put 4 tiles together here. Again, like the walls, these are black, dry brushed grey. Look alright. Yep. That's what the underside looks like. A little patent pending thing on there. I don't know if WizKids ever did get the patent for these. What I wish they would do is, because they're producing the current official range for Wizards of the Coast for D&D, is it would be really nice, guys. I know probably no one who has any influence on this is watching this, because generally no one watches this. with a little bit of retooling, where you add a different pattern on here with a 1-inch grid, which is possible because these tiles, each individual tile here is exactly 2 inches across, which is great. So with a little bit of retooling, you can add a 1-inch grid to this, and otherwise keep the set the same, and sell it for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as an official 3D dungeon, and bring it out at similar prices. With inflation and so on, these are probably going to be around £15 per a box now if they were still in production. So that would be a good price point considering the amount of stuff you get. You only need a few of these to build a half-decent sized dungeon. I've got loads because I have loads. I bought quite a few when I first got them and have consequently, that's not the right word, I've eventually come across more as time has gone on. Yeah, so yeah, that's how it works. These bits slide into each other in a manner similar to the way Scalextric tracks work. You can fit them round any way to each other. They've got this, they're almost seamless when they go together, which is absolutely wonderful. Look at that. That's, I know focus range is about here. Yeah, they're not. There's no big clumsy joins on these. The only thing that really shows up is the holes when you don't put the walls in. So you get this sort of pattern of 4 little holes in a diamond shape going across your dungeon. It's not a big problem for me. These are marked with a 1.5-inch-ish square for Mage Knight miniatures. I play gridless on my dungeons, so that's not an issue for me. But like I mentioned earlier, if they wanted to re-release these for D&D, all they'd need to do is retool the molds a bit to have keep roughly the same pattern and just cross there, get rid of that square there, and you got yourself a 1-inch grid, which would be cool. I don't have any Mage Knight figures to hand that I can think of. I could do a jump cut and go digging. Oh, shall I bother? I'm 17 minutes and a bit into this. It's not necessary, I don't think. What I can do, though, is I have, from a video I filmed not a few minutes ago before starting this one, some of my 28/30mm scale miniatures as a elf. So you can see, yeah. So in the quarter of this, a 25mm round base. This is it's based on a Frostgrave cultist base. This one fits there. Oh, here we go. Here's a Mike's Thief here is on a traditional, I think it's even actually a Games Workshop round slaughter base here. There you go. It's a grey one, probably from a 2nd edition 40k Orc or Space Marine or something from that era. Yeah, you can see how big the grid on these are. I don't play with the grid, so it doesn't really affect me. Right, let's stick some walls in. You guys can sit over there because I'll probably need you for scale comparisons in a minute. So yeah, these again, a bit stiff when you first get them, but once you use them a bit, they do wear into niceness. So yeah, you stick the walls in the holes like so. Oh Christ, this is, yeah. Yeah, I may have to file the pegs on these a bit to get them to fit nicely. Let's try another one. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're brand new, like this unopened-ish box was. They all come out quite stiff, and the bits take a little bit of force to fit together. But as time goes on and you use them, they'll wear in and wear out and wear all roundabouts until they're much easier to use. Things you've got to watch out for with these are bits of them are fragile. With the doors, that is bit where the hinge goes through is not the strongest bit, so when you pull them out of the board at the end of the game, when you're packing away, that bit there tends to bend, and I have heard in some cases they break. Also, the little pegs are prone to breaking off. Something you can do if you own these and are worried about the pegs breaking off, although it takes a while, is to take a very fine drill through the peg, and then stick a bit of pin wire in there. That'll shore that up, stop it breaking. I've done it on a few of mine that have broken, but I haven't done it on all of them because I own so bloody many. I'd just be sat there for sort of a solid 2 weeks doing it, and I've got better things to do with my time, so I just repair the ones that break when they break. I'm going to try and stick a door in here. Yeah, these brand new ones are so bloody stiff. It's not actually going all the way down, that's going to need filing. Yeah, and once, yeah, this is a clear example. Once these are in the board, the little nodule thing there makes it very difficult to open and close the door without a considerable amount of force, which could lead to you pinging miniatures across the board and otherwise damaging things around it. So, yeah. Shave that off with a knife. Oh, yeah, you've got to make sure you pull these straight upwards, because if you wiggle them, that bit will bend and you can break things. Now the walls are, if I were to design these, I'd have made the walls about 2 inches tall. These are about 2.5 inches, I think I've measured it before. I could go get my little measuring thing, but I can't be asked to do a jump cut, so I'm not going to. Yeah, here they are to scale the miniature. They're pretty good sized walls. They're enough to clearly block line of sight and not have players asking, "Oh, can I see over that bit?" No, these are a good height. They also kind of I tend to use the top of these walls to demonstrate where the ceiling height would be in my games, so I think that's fairly reasonable. That's how big they are, and the walls can be there. This is what happens when you have to reach around the camera. You become incredibly clumsy because you're trying not to knock the camera, you're knocking other things such as people's miniatures. This video is over 22 minutes long now. Right, this is the longest video I've done. I'm going to stop in a moment. Just a few more things to point out. Yeah, if you want to do secret doors in your dungeon, this set is great because the walls, what with being relatively removable, is a lot easier to remove once you've got. There we go. You can just once your players search for the secret door, you've got in your map where it's going to be, and you can just pull away the wall and say, "Ah, the wall grinds away." And yeah, secret door. There's pictures of me having huge dungeons set up with this stuff, which you can find elsewhere. I may even put links in the... I don't know if I've got any public albums. I will make a public album of good pictures of this on my Facebook page. I think it's probably time I finish this up, because this is quite long now and will take freaking ages to upload. So yeah, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from the Mage Knight Dungeons for now. Yeah, I've come up in 25 minutes now. So, goodbye, and I probably need a goodbye catchphrase.